Hey, Unbound ones, it's Nicola Humbert here, and welcome to this online masterclass, which is about unlocking your unbound voice and specifically how to unlock your unbound voice, which by that I mean your freest, fullest, most magnificent voice when you are writing a book or thinking about writing a book. So that's what I'm going to be talking about on today's masterclass. So I'm going to share my screen. There we go. So yeah, as I said, we're talking about unlocking your unbound voice. And this session, this masterclass is for you. Because we're going to be together about 45 minutes. So I want to make sure that you're in the right place and that this is the best possible use of your time. So if you have been wanting to write a book, and most likely for a long time, I know when I was thinking about writing my first book, I'd been thinking about writing that, not just since I started my business. I've been in business for about 9 years now, but really I've been thinking about writing a book since I was a little girl. So it had been an idea that had been buzzing away with me for ages. And certainly when I started my own business, it came more to the foreground, but I didn't take action on that for a long time. And part of the reason was because I wasn't sure how to get started. I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to write about. I just knew that I wanted to write a book, but I didn't have clarity or confidence in myself to actually get started and write it. So if that's where you are at the moment, if you've been wanting to write a book for the longest time, or maybe it's an idea that's just come to you, but you're not sure how to get started, then this session is going to help you. Maybe you are actually in the process of writing your book right now, but it keeps feeling like your words are falling flat, and maybe not all of your words. Maybe sometimes you can really feel like you're in the zone and you're writing from a place that really feels like your truth, your truest essence. But then, it's really hard to stay in that place. You kind of get sidetracked and it feels like your words are, like I said, falling flat. If that's the case for you, then this session is going to help. If you feel like you've been holding back in some way, and this could be with your writing. If it's showing up in your writing, most likely it's showing up in other areas of your life. So, unlocking your unbound voice, we are specifically talking about book writing here. But when you unlock your unbound voice, it will impact on all areas of your life. So if you feel like you've been holding back and you really don't want to be holding back in your writing, then I'm going to be talking about that today and how to start bringing your full self to your writing. And this session is for you if you're an unbound woman. So I talk about unbound writing, writing from your freest, fullest self. And if you're an unbound woman, and if you're in my community, if you've checked out any of my work before, then if you've read my book Unbound, then it's very likely you are an unbound woman. You crave freedom beyond all else, and there's this desire. It's not even a desire, it's a need that you have to be fully expressed in all areas of your life. And that may not be happening completely. I believe it's a lifelong journey to be fully and completely expressed, but that kind of craving is there, that need is there. If that's you, then this session is going to help you today. So what we're going to be covering during the session is how to let go of your good girl fears and write the book you're really here to write. So what I mean by good girl fears, a lot of my work is about moving beyond what I call the inner good girl. The part of you that wants to fit in, get it right, please others, and really be your fullest, freest self, your unbound self. So these good girl fears can really get in the way of us writing from a place of our truth, of our truest essence. So I want to give you ways that you can move beyond these fears and write the book you're really here to write. And what I mean by that is you know, we could all think of books that we could write. You know, I'm sure you could think, okay, yeah, okay, I know about this, or, you know, this has been coming up in my work, or this is my experience. I could pull something together and I could plan it and I could write it. But I'm a big believer that, you know, there are certain things that you're here to do in your life. And if you feel this desire to write a book, then there will be a very specific book, like I said, that comes from your truest essence, your unbound book. And I want to help you connect with that, because when you write that book, that's the one that's going to open up everything for you. So, excuse me, I just got a bit excited then. Have some water. So I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to be sharing the 3 reasons your writing has been falling flat up until now, or the reasons why you've been finding it hard to get started at all. And I'm going to be talking about the secret to moving through these fears so your writing becomes completely compelling to a growing audience of eager readers. So when I'm working with my writing mentoring clients, either one-to-one or in the Unbound Writing Mastermind, something I'm very passionate about is that we don't wait until the book is released into the world to start growing an audience of readers, okay? That is a part of the process, but you can start growing your audience and becoming really compelling to your audience very early on in the writing process, particularly when you write in this unbound way, okay? You can start sharing elements of your work and attracting people to your writing, to your book when it comes out, and any other offerings that you create around your writing, okay? And actually, when you unlock your unbound voice and you start being fully expressed or more fully expressed, it doesn't just impact on your writing, as I said, you know, it creates this shift in your energy. So even without sharing your writing specifically, you become more compelling to the people around you and the people you're connecting with, either in person or online. There's something about you because you've unlocked something within you, which is very, very compelling and magnetizing, okay, in the most powerful way. So that's what we're going to be covering on the session today. And if we've got any questions at the end, I will answer those. So let's breathe. I almost forgot that slide was in there. Let's just take a moment, because this is big stuff we're talking about. And if you felt called to watch this training, this masterclass, then you are likely feeling this calling to share your work within the container of the book in this really powerful way. You know, unlocking your unbound voice is a big thing. This is a big shift. Okay. So let's just take a moment to honor the fact that you've been called to watch this, to honor the fact that you have this incredible book within you, at least one. You know, this work, this writing that wants to be shared. So let's just take a breath. So I invite you to close your eyes, if that feels good. Just take a moment to settle. And just taking a few deep breaths, breathing right down into your belly. So taking your breath right down into your womb space, your creative center. Allowing each breath to go to the very depths of you, the very depths of who you are. And as you take these gorgeous, expansive breaths in, with each breath out, just choosing to let go of anything you don't need in this moment. Choosing to breathe away anything that no longer serves you. Just letting it all go. You don't need that right now. And just knowing that just by pausing to breathe, to bring yourself into this moment, you're making space for whatever wants to come through at this time. Making space for you to receive exactly what it is you need to receive through this training. Making space for your fullest, freest self. It's good. And, you know, what you may need to receive at this time, it could be one statement that I say during this training. Or it could be like the energetic transmission that you receive from watching this. Just being in that place of trust and openness and receptivity to whatever it is that needs to come through for you right now. That's good. So just opening your eyes when you feel ready, having a stretch. Fantastic. You know, and as I was just guiding you through that, it reminds me, you know, I'm reminded over and over again how much a process of, how much like trust is demanded from us when we engage in the process of writing, particularly in the process of unbound writing, like writing from our freest, fullest selves. We always want to be trusting that whatever is coming through is exactly what needs to come through. It's the perfect thing to come through at that moment, which is not always easy, you know, and I'm going to be talking about some of the challenges around that throughout this masterclass. But trust, you know, is a key aspect of your writing, okay? And you always know deep down, you always know what needs to come through and how that can happen. Sometimes we've just let a lot of stuff get in the way. I just want to remind you of that. You always know. So let's move on to reason one. The first reason why it might feel like your writing is falling flat, or you're just getting kind of stuck and procrastinating in your writing, or even with getting started. And reason number one, this is a reason that kind of underpins the other reason, and it's that your inner good girl is holding you back. Okay. So your inner good girl, as I've spoken about, you know, my first book was called Heal Your Inner Good Girl. And she is the part of you that wants to fit in. She wants to get it right. She wants to please others. You know, that is her overriding in focus and intention in life. She's very externally motivated. She's always checking out what other people think of her. And when we're writing from that place, obviously we're not writing from our own truth, our own, you know, from our fullest, freest self. It's a very restrictive place to be writing from. But, you know, most of us as little girls, when we're growing up, we are taught to be good girls, okay? We're taught that, you know, in lots of different ways, both kind of directly and indirectly. So consciously and unconsciously, we pick up the message that there are certain ways that we need to be in the world in order to be accepted, okay, in order to be approved of. And, you know, when we're very little, we need to be accepted and approved of in order to receive what we need, because we're not able to kind of create it for ourselves. So we need our parents to accept us and approve us. We need the people who are caring for us, looking after us, you know, our teachers. We need everyone to approve and accept us, approve of and accept us. So we're taught that there are very certain ways that we need to be in order for that to happen. It's kind of things like don't make a fuss, be quiet, be nice, you know, what, all of these things that we pick up the message, you know, that we need to, you know, these kind of unspoken rules that we need to follow. But the thing is, we don't just do that when we're little, we carry that on into our adult lives. And this can become deeply restrictive and limiting, and it's certainly limiting in terms of creativity and when you're trying to create or write from that place. So, you know, I talk about good girl writing, the difference between good girl writing and unbound writing. So good girl writing, when you're writing from that place of kind of wanting to be a good girl, and this is not conscious. Very often it's unconscious. You're not even aware of this. But your writing will come from this place of wanting to fit in, people pleasing, wanting to please others. The good girl follows the crowd. Okay, she follows what everyone else is doing. And her writing can be formulaic. And what I mean by that is, she's always looking for the answer, the right answer. Okay, how do I need to write? What structure do I need to follow? I need to have everything planned out. She will be kind of checking out with other people what they expect from her, rather than kind of coming from a place of her own truth and her own inner knowing. She wants to find the right answer when it comes to writing. I think if you're watching this, you're obviously a deeply creative being, even if you don't recognize that in yourself. There is no formula to creativity. There are things that we can put in place to support us with our creativity, with our writing, which is some of the things that I kind of help my clients to do and things that I've learned from myself. But there's no kind of formula to follow when you're writing a book. There can be, if it's just any book and you're just wanting to get something out there, you can follow a formula and write something. But you want something more than that. You want it to come from your truest essence. There's no formula for that. So unbound writing is kind of the opposite of good girl writing. So the unbound writer, she desires to stand out. Even if that feels comfortable, she is willing to stand out with her writing. Rather than wanting to please others, she wants to lead others. She recognizes that she has something important to share. Again, even if that's uncomfortable, the idea of being a leader, she is willing to go first and to lead others through her writing. She is pioneering. She's a trailblazer. And she is willing to bring her quirks to her writing. Okay, she's willing to be quirky. She's willing to be weird. She's not all about fitting in. So she will bring everything to her writing. Oh, excuse me. My phone was just diving off the desk. It seems to do that every now and again. Okay. So why do we end up writing from this good girl place? Why is it so hard to move beyond this? Well, like I said, we receive all these messages when we're growing up about how and who we should be in the world. We receive those from our parents, from our teachers, from the rest of our families, from society in general. We live in this kind of patriarchal system where we're kind of told, like this hierarchical system where we're told how and who we should be in lots of different ways. So we pick all of this up, but there are very often being key events in our lives when we very clearly receive the message that, we have to be careful about how we express ourselves. And these are the kind of key events that I work with my clients to help them identify and shift the patterns that have been created them, to kind of heal the trauma that could have happened during these events. And when I talk about trauma, it doesn't have to be some kind of huge life event that happened. It can be like relatively small events that happen when you were growing up that have really kind of traumatized your creative self, your creative expression. So an example of this, I was working with a client a couple of years ago, and it wasn't around writing specifically, but it was around, she had her own business, and she was finding whenever she was doing any kind of presentation or speaking, whether it was online or a in-person group event, she would get to a point where she was kind of making an offer, like inviting people to work with her in different ways, and she would have a coughing fit. And that was happening at the same point every single time. So, when there are these patterns kind of showing up, it shows us, okay, there's something going on here. So we worked together and trained as a hypnotherapist and an EFT matrix reimprinter. So I work a lot with the subconscious mind and helping you to uncover these past events that could still be impacting you. And we were able to identify, really simply, this event from her past when she was growing up, where she was performing in public, kind of expressing herself, and received a negative response. So we did some work to reassure and kind of comfort her younger self in that situation. And, you know, doing the work around that helped her to be able to express herself more fully and more freely in her presentations. Okay. So what we want to do is to identify those key events where that idea of, oh, I have to be this certain way, otherwise I'm not going to be approved of, I'm not going to be accepted. We want to identify those events where that those good girl fears became ingrained, and actually kind of heal those places, heal those experiences. And we do that by sending love and approval and acceptance and compassion to those younger parts of us, and giving them the support, giving our kind of inner good girl the support that she needed at the time in order to feel safe to express herself. So, you know, I've had experiences like that in my past. One of them I talk about in Heal Your Inner Good Girl, where, you know, I was at school and I was writing something very freely, took it up to the front of the class, thought I'd done an amazing job. And the teacher actually held it up in front of everyone and said that it was absolute rubbish. And in that moment, I kind of froze. A part of me froze. My inner good girl kind of became really deeply ingrained. It was like, actually, Nicola, you have to be really careful now about how you express yourself, because it's not safe just to freely kind of be sharing your work with other people, because you can be shamed for that. You can be told that it's rubbish. So you need to hold back. So there can be these key experiences alongside all of the messages that we are bombarded with when we're growing up. There can be these key events that continue to impact on us. So what we want to do is identify those and send love, compassion, acceptance, approval, give our younger selves what they needed at the time. And the great thing is that we're able to do this, and we can do it in a really simple way. You can do it just through the power of intention, actually, and it helps to free up your creative self. So we heal and support the inner good girl to unlock your unbound voice. So this is not about kind of pushing the inner good girl away and getting frustrated with the inner good girl. We understand why she's been been holding herself back in this way. We get it, you know. So we don't want to kind of shame her for that. We want to send her love and compassion and acceptance and understanding. That's when you are able to free and unlock your unbound voice. Okay. So let's move on to reason number 2. Reason number 2 is where you're not turned on by what you're writing. Okay, so it doesn't feel exciting or compelling to you. So one of the principles of living unbound is that you allow pleasure to be your compass. So the unbound woman is guided by pleasure. And that's in her whole life. She allows herself to be guided by pleasure, which, again, we are not taught to do. We're not brought up to be guided by pleasure. We're taught up to be kind of guided by obligation and expectations, and the familiar, okay, to follow the familiar path. The unbound woman allows herself to be guided by pleasure, and she writes from this place. So rather than writing from a place of obligation and expectation and, this is the way it's always been done, so I'm going to do this too, she connects with her own pleasure. And it's like, well, what is going to feel really good? What is going to feel really good for me to express here? That's where she writes from. Another of the principles of living unbound is to live in and from your gift. And when you write from this place, it's really powerful. So again, rather than just writing, there are a lot of things that you could write about. I know that you've had lots of experiences, that, you are skilled in a lot of different areas. There are a lot of things that you could write about, but I want you to be writing from your gift, that unique essence of what you are here to share. That is really, really powerful. So with good girl writing, when we're writing from the good girl place, we're very much kind of writing from a head-based place. Trying to figure it out, what we should write. Whenever should comes in, that's not that's a signal that we're following kind of expectations and obligations rather than what we really want. Good girl writing is rigidly consistent. So she will be looking at what other people are doing, maybe doing a lot of research around writing and what it means to be a writer and how she should be writing. And it's like, show up every day at your desk and write for so many hours. And if you don't do that, then you're not a writer. And she'll be judging herself on that and expecting herself to be rigidly consistent. And it's all of her writing is based on what other people want. Okay, so she'll be thinking, okay, well, what do people expect from me here? What will make people like me? What will make people approve of my writing? What will make my writing acceptable? She's always thinking about what other people want. Like I said, she's very externally motivated. It's really hard to get turned on by that place, by focusing on what other people want. So she's thinking about, and this is kind of what we're taught to do. It's one of the things I was told to do when I started my business. It's like, we think about what keeps your clients up at night. What are they worrying about? So this is what the good girl should be like. Well, okay, what do my readers, what keeps them up at night? What do they need help with? And we don't want to be discounting what our readers are interested in, but we want to be starting from the place of, okay, well, what turns me on? Because if it turns you on, then it's going to turn your readers on. So Unbound writing is soul-led. It really comes from the soul. It's like you can't not express this. You allow yourself to be cyclical in your writing. And what I mean by that, as women, we are cyclical beings. We have our own kind of menstrual cycles, if you still have one. We are governed by the cycle of the moons, of the seasons, our energies, and our creative energies ebb and flow. So it's really hard to make ourselves stick to this rigidly consistent idea of when we're going to create, when we're going to write. It doesn't fit with how we naturally are. So you want to harness the power of your cyclical nature, which is another one of the principles of living unbound. So you allow those ebbs and flows in your energy and you write according to that. So maybe some days where it's like, I just want to write and write and write, and I do, and I allow it all to come through. And maybe other days, I experienced this recently at the end of last week, and this is not in terms of writing a book, but I usually send a newsletter to my email subscribers once a week, and it was getting to the end of last week and I was like, I should be sending an email, but I didn't feel turned on by anything. Usually I will get something come through, something will happen, or I will feel really interested and passionate about sharing something. I wasn't feeling that last week, and I could have made myself write something, and I did. I started writing something. I was like, no, I can't share this. I'm not excited by it. I'm not passionate about it. I'm not turned on by this, so I'm not going to share it. I allow myself not to do that, to respond to this kind of cyclical, this kind of ebb and flow in my energies. It's got to, this is Tuesday of the following week. Like yesterday, I had this kind of download of inspiration that I felt so excited about. And it's like, yeah, okay, I'm going to share that with my community. So I'm sharing from a place of being turned on and allowing that ebb and flow in my energies, rather than just rigidly going, no, I normally send an email every week, so I'm going to do that. We don't want to be getting into that place of obligation and rigid expectation with our writing. And the Unbound woman, she shares what keeps her up at night. So those ideas that come to you at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's like, oh my goodness, this is so exciting. I just need to get up and start writing now. That is the place that she writes from, rather than like, I wonder what others are expecting me to write about. So when you feel excited and lit up and turned on by what you're writing, the energy of this is transmitted to your prospective readers. And I kind of spoke to this a little bit earlier, like in the introduction. You don't even necessarily have to share your writing for this energy to be transmitted. It comes across in everything you do. When you are really turned on by what you're working on, it comes across in your personal relationships. It comes across like every time you post anything online, even if it's unrelated to your writing, everything you create in your life and your business is infused by this energy of full expression and, turn on and excitement and passion. People pick up on it and they're automatically attracted to you and your work. So, oh my goodness, I want some of what she's got, because you're allowing yourself to be fully expressed and you're writing from this place of pleasure and from your true and unique gift. So powerful. So, I just want you to think about your own writing now. And if you are like tuning into what you want to write about, it's like, well, what really turns you on? What gets you excited? What are you passionate about? What makes you feel lit up? What makes you feel good? Okay. And if you've been feeling stalled with your writing, check in and say, am I really feeling turned on by this? Or have I been writing from this place of shoulds and obligations? What are the ideas that really keep me up at night that I could talk about all day, all week, all month, all year? Okay, that's where you want to be writing from. So reason number 3 follows on from reason number 2. And reason number 3, because it's not enough just to be writing from this place of what turns you on, what excites you. You need to allow yourself to share from that place. So you can write about it, but if you can write a book just for yourself, which is fine, okay? You feel fully expressed for yourself. But if you're not allowing yourself to share it, you're not really unlocking your unbound voice. Part of being fully expressed is to have that witnessed and received by others. So kind of the next step is allowing yourself to share that with the world. So like I said, it's not enough just to write from the place of what turns you on. You need to be willing to share it. And this is what stalls a lot of women that I see, because, you can write and write and write, and it's great. But when it comes to actually releasing that into the world, it's like, oh my goodness, that feels too scary. That feels too vulnerable. So good girl writing. The good girl, she seeks approval. So she's always checking out what's going to be approved of before she's sharing it. She's always in this place of self-censorship and editing and modifying herself to make sure she's going to be approved of, which, that is not at all powerful or magical when you're writing. She plays it safe and she fears criticism beyond all else. She fears that she's going to be criticized, and she is always kind of perceiving and imagining that she's going to be criticized by others. She automatically assumes she's going to be criticized by others if she expresses herself freely. With unbound writing, the unbound writer seeks passion rather than approval. So she doesn't really care if you approve of her. Okay, that's not what she's looking for. She wants to feel passionate about what she's writing. Okay, and she wants you to feel passionate about her writing. And you would be surprised when you unlock your unbound voice and really write in this unbound free way, the amount of passion that can be generated in your readers. I mean, when I released Unbound earlier this summer, I was kind of in awe of the reaction that it received from, a lot of the women who are reading it. I mean, literally, just thinking, one of the first women to read it, who was also a past client, she got the book at my pre-book launch, and the next day I woke up to these long WhatsApp messages about, oh my goodness, on this page when you say this speaks to me. So, oh my god, she couldn't stop reading the book, and she felt so passionate about it, and it's almost like she shares about Unbound even more passionately than I do. So that is such a powerful thing. When you write from that place, you activate this sense of passion within your readers. It's just so beautiful, and you can't do that when you're writing from this good girl place. The unbound writer makes her own rules. Okay, she doesn't fit in with any ideas about who and how she should be in her writing. And rather than fearing criticism, she expects miracles. Okay, so she is always looking for evidence of miracles and magic. And those miracles, that magic, can often happen in unexpected ways and sometimes uncomfortable ways. It's not necessarily comfortable to be sharing your unbound voice, to be writing from your freest, fullest self. It can be uncomfortable because often we spent a long time not doing that. So it's this process of realignment, and you need to be willing to inhabit your being in a way, not just writing from this place, but in your being, in allowing yourself to be seen and experienced in a way that allows your work to go out into the world and be received. So it is a process of realignment, which can feel uncomfortable. So you have to decide what's most important to you. Is it more important for you to stay safe? And you can write, and maybe you can keep your writing for yourself and not actually release your book, or maybe not even write from your freest, fullest self. Maybe that feels too risky for you. So is it more important for you to stay safe, or is it most important for you to speak your truth and be fully expressed in the world and to share that? Okay. And just, check in with that now. I would suggest, if you're part of my community and you're watching this, then it's going to be most important to you to speak your truth and to be fully expressed. And it's not enough for you to do this just for you. You need to share your book. You want your book to go out into the world. You want your message to go out into the world. I would suggest that's the case. So it's kind of really making a commitment to that and saying, okay, I know this is going to be uncomfortable. I may receive criticism. There may be people who don't get me. Maybe people who don't get my writing, who don't like my writing. But there will be people who love my writing. There will be people who feel so passionate about it. There will be people who, my writing changes their lives and activates something really powerful in them. And for me, it's more important that I allow that than just to stay safe. So what you want to be doing is continually uncovering and shifting any fears that arise throughout the writing process. So, what I talk about with Unbound writing and with my one-to-one mentoring clients and the members of the Unbound writing Mastermind is, you write your book. Most of the women that I work with, you're writing a transformational book in one way or another. So there's the intention that it is going to create a level of transformational activation within your readers. You can't write that kind of book, and you can't write from this unbound place unless it transforms you as well. The writing process will create activation and transformation within you. And part of that is this uncovering and shifting of fears, like different layers of fears that come up through the writing process and sharing your book, releasing your book into the world. And it's all good, rather than going, oh my goodness, I'm scared of sharing my unbound voice. I've got fears coming up around sharing this, and beating yourself up about it and kind of retreating. It's like, okay, I welcome this. I welcome this awareness that I've got a fear around this specific thing. I'm going to send love to the part of me that is experiencing that. I've got an idea of where it comes from, and I'm going to choose to move beyond this fear. So what is really important here is support. Okay. So writing can be a really solitary process. You could be sitting there writing for yourself, particularly if you're in this good girl place and it's like, oh my God, I don't even know if I can share this with the world. So you're kind of writing on your own. It can feel really solitary, and you can feel really isolated. You want to have support around you, especially when you're like tuning into your unbound voice, you're writing from your freest, fullest self. You want to have people around you who get you, who can witness you, who can hold you in this place where, maybe you've got fears coming up and you're going to do it anyway. Okay, so that might look like getting a book writing accountability buddy, someone who's doing something similar. So that's what I did when I was writing my first book. There was someone else I knew in my network who was writing her first book, and we agreed to just get together on Skype once a week to check in with what was coming up for us, any fears, any doubts, and to kind of set goals along the way. And that was really powerful. I don't think I would have written my first book without that. You might choose to get a book coach or a mentor to help you. So when I was writing the second book, Unbound, I worked with a higher level mentor to really go deep and uncover a lot of old patterns and fears and doubts. Really did a huge amount of transformational work throughout that process because the book demanded it. Okay, in order to really speak from the unbound place, I knew that I needed that high level of support. It might be joining kind of a group like the, Mastermind, or a group of people who are all writing books. It could be something like that. It can be formal or informal, but you want to have people around you. One of the other principles of living unbound is, sisterhood. The unbound woman thrives in sisterhood. And maybe for a long time you felt like the odd one out, or you do things differently, you feel differently, and it's like, oh, I just feel a bit clunky. I don't feel like I fit in the world. So you want to have people around you, start cultivating this kind of community, this sisterhood, this network, this like support network of people who see you and hear you and understand you and get you. Okay, see you as the magnificent being you are. It's so vital, especially when we're talking about being fully expressed. Okay, so that's the 3 reasons why you may be feeling stalled in your writing, or it may be feeling like your words are falling flat. And the one that underpins it all is that very often we have been kind of taught to be the good girl, so we're writing from that good girl place. So we want to move beyond the good girl. We want to write what really, you want to write what really turns you on, really gets you excited. Because if it doesn't really get you excited, it's not going to get your readers excited. And then you want to allow yourself to share what turns you on. Okay, because that is the magic. That is going to make you really compelling to your prospective readers. Okay, so if you've been watching this and you're thinking, oh my goodness, I really want to truly unlock my unbound voice, I want to write from this place, I really feel ready to write my book and get it out into the world, I have an invitation to you. Because as I said, this can feel like a very solitary process, writing a book. It can feel quite lonely, and I want you to feel supported. So I've mentioned a couple of times throughout this the Unbound Writing Mastermind, and the doors to the first round of the Unbound Writing Mastermind are open right now. And this process is designed to unlock your unbound voice and write a book that transforms you as much as your readers. So, I believe there needs to be this level of transformation throughout the writing process in order to activate that within your readers as well. So you become more yourself through the writing of your book. It's just gorgeous. So the Unbound Writing Mastermind is a 6-month process designed to help you write your transformational book by early 2019, so early next year. So as I said, the doors are open now. We've just had the kind of opening orientation call last week with the people who've already joined. But you can jump in now. The doors are open till the end of August, and we kind of really dive into the process starting in September. So we'll go from September through to February next year. And my intention is that you will have the body of your book written by early 2019. And you also begin to grow your audience of readers on the way. So during the mastermind, you get monthly group coaching calls, expert masterclasses with myself and other guest teachers. We're doing Unbound writing sessions where we get together on Zoom a couple of times a month. just for an hour at a time. And with that wonderful group energy, you have time to focus on your writing and get writing done. So it's a way of carving out time for you to write. You'll receive weekly writing prompts and accountability within the exclusive Facebook group that we have for the Mastermind. So it's a relatively intimate group. We have 5 women who are in there already. Like I said, the doors are open until the end of August. I envisage there'll be no more than 10 within the group. So if this is calling to you and you want to find out some more, I invite you to go over to the invitation page, which is at nicolahumber.com/the-unbound-writing-mastermind. You'll find all of the details there, and you will be able to claim your space. As I said, doors close at the end of the month, but as soon as you join, you will get access to the opening call, and we've already started with the writing prompts and accountability. You know, the Facebook group is already open. So I would encourage you to jump in as soon as possible. And because we've already had the opening call, where, you know, the people who've already joined have the chance to ask questions and share their intentions, I don't want you to miss out. So the next 2 people to join the Mastermind will receive a free one-to-one 60-minute Unleash Your Unbound book session with me. So this is worth $500, this session. It's like I said, it's a one-to-one session. We'll get together over Zoom or Skype, and it's a chance for you to really tune into, okay, what is the book that you're here to write? I will help you to do that. We'll talk about any specific fears or doubts that you've got coming up and set some really powerful intentions for the Mastermind. So that is available to the next 2 people to join, whoever that is. So if you are feeling the call, like I said, I encourage you to head over to nicolahumber.com/the-unbound-writing-mastermind. Check it out. If you've got any questions or you want to have a chat with me before making a decision to join, just comment below this video or send me a message, an email or a Facebook message, and we'll arrange a time to have a chat. I'm completely happy to do that. Okay, perfect. So if you've got any questions about anything that I've shared and you're watching the recording, comment below this video and I will come back and answer them. And I just want to say, if you have been feeling the call to write a book, that's no accident. I'm a strong believer that, you know, well, I know that if you have a desire to do something, there is a reason for that. So please don't hold back. You know, whether you join the Mastermind or not, I really encourage you to make a decision, a commitment to write your book and to get it out into the world, because we need to hear from more unbound women. We need more unbound women to be sharing their truth, to be sharing their message, to be sharing their stories with the world. We really need that. So please, please do. Okay, Unbound ones, that is it for now. I'm gonna stop sharing. Come back. Okay, so we went just over 45 minutes. Great. So really wonderful to connect with you around this. If you've got any questions about anything I've shared or the Unbound Writing Mastermind, then get in touch. My phone's just about to dive off the desk again. Really interesting. It's telling me to stop now. I will connect with you again soon, and here's to being your freest, fullest self. Bye.